right, so today we're gonna do the 3.5. Let's just start with that. And this is our 5-number summary and also the box plot. Also known as the whisker plot. Okay. Your 5-number summary is the min, Q1, median, Q3, and max. It's extremely easy to do in StatCrunch. You go graph, and choose Boxplot. You probably want to tell it to graph horizontally. There should be a little box to choose. We'll look at that in a second. But I want to go over how you do it by hand. So if you do it by hand once, like, it will mean more to you, like what you're looking at. Because otherwise it's just a fucking box with lines coming out of it.
Do you have to use StatCrunch? Because I haven't really used it yet.
You're gonna regret that eventually. Yeah, early on, you don't really need it.
Okay.
When we're doing like chapter 6 and chapter 7, have fun doing this shit by hand. Godspeed. What do you want on your tombstone? You will fucking say, fuck that. You'll take the time to learn. You really should. You should use StatCrunch simply because you may not use it in the future, but if you ever have a job that does statistics, all the statistical software does the same shit, and you'll have some experience with it. And you'll be surprised how many jobs have some sort of stats in it, and what your boss is going to ask you to do. So, do a box plots by hand. If you do it by hand at least once, you'll get a better feeling like, what the hell does this picture mean? And so we have those 5 numbers. These are 5 valid numbers, and we're going to use them. So we need those. A is find the 5-number summary. We're not going to do that by hand. That's a pain in the ass. As much as finding the midpoint is a pain in the ass, where you got to sort them and find the middle number, that's not too hard when there's fucking 9 numbers. When there's 115 numbers, it's a long while. Now we're good. Then B, we need to find the fences. And we talked about the fences yesterday. For the fences, first off, we need the IQR, the interquartile range. And remember, that is Q3 minus Q1. So this is just going to be some number. Then our lower fence will be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And our upper fence will be Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR.
So always minus 1.5.
Or plus 1.5.
Oh yeah, just using the same 1.5.
Yeah. This is the same number both times, same value for both, so you really only need to calculate it once. And one of them you'll subtract, one of them you'll add. It's not too bad. You ready? I thought we'd do it. Speak dick once in a while. Gotta do it for fun. All right, so once we have our 5 numbers and our lower fence and our upper fence number, these are all numbers. So we'll have the min, we'll have the Q1, we'll have the median, we'll have Q3, we'll have the max, we'll have the lower fence, and we'll have the upper fence at this point. These are 7 different, not necessarily different, but usually are. Sometimes the fences are the same as some of the other ones. 7 numbers. We will, at this point, make a number line marking those 7 numbers. And we should probably not only mark what the value is, but label them. Then we will make a box using Q1 and Q3. And put a vertical line through the box at the median. At this point, you'll have something like this. Might be lopsided like that. The vertical line in the middle doesn't necessarily go through the center. It can be off to the side. This is our box. What comes next are called the whiskers. These are the whiskers. So where we want to put the whiskers is, we're on E. Connect the lowest non-outlier value to the box with a line. And then do the same with the greatest non-outlier. And finally, we will put asterisks where any outlier is. That makes my fucking hands hurt just hearing it. I used to do that shit all the time. I'm not that many, I do one at a time. Sounds fucking intimidating when you do one at a time, like you get ready to just beat someone's ass. Both of you are against the wall, neither of you charged up yesterday or today. That's crazy. All right, you guys ready to do this with some values?
Yep.
Okay, so let's bounce over to StatCrunch and get some values. I don't know, you guys want to do age or height, or what are you guys going to do here?
We'll do age.
Let's do age, okay. So let's do our summary stats for age, and let's get our min, our Q1, our median, our Q3, and our max. It'll spit out the IQR. That's an easy calculation, but I'm going to have it do it just so we can verify ours when we do it. And I'll click compute. And it gives us 6 numbers. And I'm going to write them down on the next piece of paper, and then I'll switch back over to the piece of paper. So for our data set by age, it actually might, maybe I'll switch over now. It might be easier for you guys to read my big ass handwriting. We will have the min is 14. Q1 is 18. Q2 or median is 32. Q3 is 79. No, I'm sorry. The fuck am I doing here? Median is 21. Sorry. Median is 21. Q3 is 32. And then max is 79. Okay. So that got us our 5-number summary. For the fences, we need to find the IQR. And the program will tell us it, but IQR is really easy. It's Q3 minus Q1, or 32 minus 18, which is 14. And I know I'm going to need 1.5 times that for some calculations here. So 1.5 times IQR is 1.5 times 14, which is 21. This will put my lower fence value at Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. which is 18 minus 21, which is -3. This is going to be off the board because we know you can't have a negative age. The upper fence is Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR, which is 32 plus 21, which is 53. We don't have any ages less than 14. Ages greater than 53 are outliers. And in the data set, we have them at 57, 58. There's 2 at 61. There's a 63, a 65, a 79. And the lowest non-outlier is the min. The greatest non-outlier is the min. There is no outlier on the low side. On the high side, the greatest non-outlier, I'm looking at the list, it's the highest number below 53. The highest number below 53 is 52. So that's going to help us make a box.
Wait, so the asterisk means it's like, you put asterisks on the outliers are?
Yeah.
So when you put it between is that the same when you put it between 1.5 and IQR?
They're good. Let's draw the picture, you'll
I
see
see
it.
what it is now, sorry. It took me a second to
Let's draw the picture. It's a little clearer when we do the picture. Okay, so I'm gonna make a number line. And the largest number on my list is 79. And I'm gonna put 0 over here just so I can kind of like try to break this up in increments of 20. Maybe I'll put 10 in, increments of 10, just to help my number line so I can find where this shit kind of is. So, we got that. So we're gonna put marks where every one of these is. The min is at 14. I'm gonna do this right here, write 14 in min. I've got 18, and that's Q1. $21 right there is the median. $32 is Q3. And 53 was the upper fence. And 79 was my max. The lower fence was a negative number and is not needed because it's below the min. Where'd the fucking green pig go? Dude, it's fucking like close enough to bite me. All right, so our Q1 and Q3 is right here. I'm gonna put a box right here. That's my box. And I'm gonna put a vertical line where the median is. My lowest non-outlier is at 14, it's right there. And if I go to 52, which would be right there maybe, this is my highest non-outlier. See, Jess. Sometimes the box, or sometimes the graphs do like vertical lines right there, like a little thing like that. This looks like a lopsided typewriter right now. Boxy typewriter. We could make it look a little more like Vader's if we do some shit like that, right? A little bit like Vader's, lopsided, but it's there. You can see a little bit. All right, so now we look for the outliers. The outliers are at 57 and 58. There's probably that's about 57. That's about 58. 61. I don't know if you. I don't know. There's two of them. I'll stack them. You could just do one. 63 is pretty close to that. 65 is pretty close to that. And then 79 is way the fuck over here.
How come the whiskers aren't like minimum and maximum? Why do you have to use the upper fence?
Because we want to be able to flag the outliers. We want to make them stand out. And if we did the line all the way over here, then we just have dots on it. I don't know if that's a good reason why. Whoever came up with this shit decided this is the way it is. If I could change some shit, I could change a lot of shit. Math would be much more glorious. Parentheses would only be used for fucking coordinates in graphing. It's used in interval notation also. Well, I guess we gotta use it in like algebra equations, but like, there's a lot of shit I'd change. If you do calculus, there's more than one way to show the derivative, because it was developed simultaneously in different parts of the world long before realistic technology to communicate between them. So like Newton and Leibniz were fucking like, they're both in Europe somewhere, but they're not near each other. They both came up with how to do calculus, like at the same time. They both use different notations. And like, rather than give one precedent over the other, we just like use them interchangeably. Let's take a look if we're close. We did this by hand. Let's look at how it looks on the computer. So I'm gonna go graph Boxplot. I'm going to tell it age, and I'm going to say draw boxes horizontally. Use fences to identify outliers is already checked. That's a good thing. Look at that. Not too bad. Right? So some things that can help. It's easy to do in seconds. But now when you look at it, you might get a better feel of what each line is on it represents. So some things to note. I better leave this up here while we're to reference it. The length of the whiskers can indicate skew. And sometimes the whiskers aren't the same length, or they are the same length, but it's still skewed. Or I should say, if 1/2 of the rectangle is longer, of the box is longer, a lot longer. Not just a little bit longer, like a lot longer. So this graph is skewed right. And we know this makes sense because most of the students that answered this were college age. And so most of the people are in the 18 to 25 bracket. Any questions on that? All right, I'm going to stop this video because that's the end of chapter 5.